Okay then. Oh, it's warm out. I am just gonna let everyone know that I am live. So give me a moment, everyone. What do we have here? There we go. Copy. And haha. Let me know in the comments if you have joined me. There we go. I'm gonna keep an eye out on the comments if I can see anything. Okay. There's always so many things to take into consideration when going live. And frankly, I don't have a ton of experience going live on YouTube, so I'm working on it. And hopefully I will see a bunch of you guys come over. I hope you can hear me. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my my mic hooked up to my computer, so yeah, there isn't professional sound, and I'm going to be outside. I am outside, and so there might be a little bit of wind, and I'll tell you all about that in a moment. Why I'm here and not home in my kitchen, where I usually, well, sometimes I am. I guess I shoot from many different places. Okay. So I'm almost done doing the rounds, letting people know that I am live in this very moment. So we will see how it goes. I mean, there's always a risk that no one's gonna show up, and I'm gonna stand here and talk to myself. Oh, and I just remembered that I forgot my sheet that I am that I have prepared so I can help you guys out. So I'm gonna be right back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if everybody can see me. Yeah, you can, and I'm probably gonna do this a little bit because if I stand over here, I want you guys to be able to see me perfectly clear. Okay. Let's see. Page. Let's see if anyone is coming over. I mean, I'm not set to start until in like 2 minutes, so I'm just gonna hang out here for a moment, make sure that people that want to show up, show up. This is my first live on YouTube alone. I did one before where I had the amazing Johnny Edward with me, but today is a little bit different because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on right now, well, these past few days, frankly, that have affected my ability to do anything. So it's definitely interesting. And I'm going to tell you all about that in about 2 minutes. I'm a little afraid that my shirt is riding up. As you can tell, I'm like changing it all the time. But cheers until then. As I mentioned, it's my first live video alone off YouTube, and unfortunately the sun is deciding to come out. In a moment ago it was like perfect, and I might actually reposition myself a little more. Yeah, that actually helped. Woo! Got toasty in here. I just prefer the backdrop that I had before. Nah. I'm happy with the way it was. There we go. I just wish the sun wasn't here right now. It was, seriously, a moment ago, it was the perfect light for this. And I'm going to talk all about light in a moment when I start talking about giving you guys some modeling tips for beginners. And now we're not talking, we're talking, this is for the people who wants to know how they can look just a little bit better in pictures, in portraits, whether it be a selfie or whether it is professional captured portraits. Doesn't really matter, because these are tricks that you can use for everything, especially selfies, actually. A lot of people come to me and say, Sisela, how do I take the best selfies? And I haven't until now done anything on it. I mean, of course, I help people out where I can. I give them whatever pointers that I have. And if you're a client of mine, you'll know that when you are one of my sessions, especially if you are a model to be, where you actually want to do professional modeling, you'll know that I'm going to give you a ton of tips on how to move your body when you are having portraits done. Well, hello, son. Oh, right. It's going to be okay. Okay, it is 3 o'clock and I have promised to get started, so I will get started. First of all, I have 3 people here right now, and please, guys, introduce yourself, because I'm standing here feeling mighty lonely. So introduce yourself, please. I want to know where you're looking in from. I don't care if there's only going to be one person doing this whole thing, or if there's going to be 50 or 100 or maybe 1,000. Probably not going to happen. But I want you guys to introduce yourself so I can know where you are checking in from. And this is also a Q&A where I will help you with some of the issues that you have specifically with posing in front of a camera. Now, I am met all the time with people saying, I don't look good in pictures. That's something I don't believe in. I believe that there's only bad posing and bad lighting. I think that most people, if not all people, I believe that all people can look absolutely amazing in portraits, and everybody has the right to look absolutely amazing in portraits. So this is why I'm here, to help you guys feel amazing about yourself and help guide you. And we have Jens tuning in from Denmark, and Jens is a good friend of mine. So I am very happy for Jens to be here. Thank you, Jens, for checking in. I really appreciate it. But let's get started. Almost. Because, quick story, I am at family's house. A couple of days ago, we had a storm coming through Connecticut. Pretty big storm. I mean, we were not the ones in the country who got the worst of it, but we got our share. And it meant that, among other things, we have a tree in our yard now, big tree, that fell down. And also we are out of power and probably not going to get power until Tuesday. So we escaped to family's places that have internet and have power. So I can be here with you guys and help you look your very best in portraits. So that's why I'm shooting from my laptop. Also, I could usually connect my camera, my professional camera to this, but I'm sorry, you have to deal with bad audio, kind of crappy light, and bad video. It is what it is. I hope that you're still gonna enjoy what I have to offer today. So, speaking of light, one of the most important things, one of the first things that I want you to know is your light. And now you're like, Sisela, for crying out loud. Light, that's your job. You're the photographer. Yes, I absolutely am. But if you're in a situation where you're taking a selfie, or you are with family and someone pulls out their phone and says, let's snap some pictures, and you're like, the light is over there, and you want us to stand with our backs against it? It's really practical to know, no matter who you are, and even if you're a professional model or is striving to be a professional model, you need to know your light. You need to know where your light is coming from. So right now, my light is right there. And it is really important, especially when you're outside, to identify your light source. Where's your light coming from? My light is all natural. It is sun. We are around 3 o'clock, so we are not in the height of day, but we're still pretty hefty light. Fortunately, today we are overcast, and when we're overcast, we have this beautiful big reflector helping us. This is what's happening here. But as you can see, I have shadows all around my eyes, and that's because the light is coming from so high above that my eyes get all shady. And usually I would use professional light to get that kind of evened out, but I'm not able to do that today, and most people won't be. So what do? Well, if you're inside and you want to take a selfie, find a window. And a really good way to find your window is grab your phone and stand in front of the nearest window. You can do this with all the windows that you have nearby. And then you pull out your camera. And when you pull out your camera, you have the screen. You can't see this right now, but you have the screen on selfie mode. And then you're going to put it in front of you, and then you're going to rotate. And what that does is you're going to be able to see live on your phone in selfie mode how the light is moving, how the light is moving on your face. So you turn around, and there, that's where the perfect light is. Or you have to go all the way around a couple of times to figure it out. Now, this might take a little while to get used to, but once you are accustomed to finding your light, it's going to be so easy. And why is it important to have good light? I feel like that one might be a little self-explanatory. However, good light is what makes our faces shine the best. If we're all in shadow, no one can see our eyes. And you want those eyes to shine because, as the cliche says, the eyes are the mirror to the soul. And in photography, in my opinion, the eyes are the most important thing. So find your light. If you have a very, very strong source of light, if you're outside, find shade. Still figure out where your sun is. Still want to make sure that the sun is even on your face, but find shade. You'll still have the direction of the sun, even in shade. Be careful with going out in sharp light. It's rarely going to look good, and you're going to get really, really hefty shadows on your eyes, and that's not going to look good. So find your light. My next thing that is, well, actually first, we have Sarah here. And Sarah is one of my amazing clients, and I'm so grateful to have you here, Sarah. And you're so sweet. Sarah says, "Hi, I'm Sarah, tuning in from CT. Fortunate to be a past and upcoming client of the one and only Sizzler." I think that's me. She's magic behind and in front of the camera, and I'm here to soak up some more tips. Thank you. I'll always be happy to give you as many tips as I can, and you know this. Sarah's amazing, and her session, the first session she had was amazing, and now she's coming to me to have her couples portrait done, and I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so for my second tip, and mind you, I have 10 of them, and I need to be gone by a little to 4, so I'll try to make it fairly direct. I'm sorry, I am not known for being concise. So my second tip for today is practice in front of the mirror. And you're like, Sizzler, I don't want to practice. Then I have to look at myself in the mirror, and I don't like the way I look in the mirror. Well, Get over it, honey. You are beautiful, and you need to get accustomed to looking at your face and knowing its angles. And that's what you're going to learn when you practice in front of the mirror. Now, I'm going to do like this real quick. So my hair is out of my face. When you practice in front of the mirror, you're going to be able to start seeing which side of your face you prefer. And I will say, I don't really believe in good and bad angles, but I do believe that many people believe in good and bad angles. So I think it's really important as a photographer to photograph people from the angle that they are the most comfortable with. And also, of course, the angle that is most flattering. And if they feel like they don't look flattering from one specific angle, maybe they don't like their nose, maybe they have a scar that they want to hide, then it's my job to make sure that they feel good about the angle. Now, where this comes into play for you, you'll notice as you stand in front of the mirror that certain ways that you move are going to be better than others. Also, there's not going to be anyone to watch you, so you can make yourself look the goofiest you want. Kid you not, it's a wonderful, wonderful way of getting comfortable in front of the camera if you look goofy. I have my clients go through a bunch of different exercises that helps loosen their jaw when they're in front of the camera, and there are a little bit of theater exercises that really, really helps. But in front of the mirror, you can start with just kind of moving about, just watch yourself move. And then you can kind of feel like, oh, wait a second. What's going on here? This looks nice. And then you can start to kind of work around that and figure out exactly what it is you like about that pose that you just did. And the more you pose and play model, and please do it. It's fun. Standing in front of the mirror and like we did when we were kids and playing model is a really fun thing to do. So you can even do if you have room, do a catwalk. So step back and walk towards the camera and pose and pose. If you have the chance, I highly encourage you to watch Pose on Netflix. It is an amazing show. And not only is it going to teach you a lot about the scene, the ballroom scene in New York City during the 80s and the whole HIV epidemic that was going on. It's also going to teach you a ton of really fun posing tricks. So yeah, I recommend watching that show. It's amazing, and I love it for everything that it is. So trick number 2, practice in front of the camera. Okay, number 3, really important, chin forward. So simple. It is probably my most simple trick for the day. Push your chin forward. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how thin or thick you are. Doesn't matter. The moment that you push your chin forward a little bit, your jawline gets defined. You can actually see the difference a lot. Like I'm standing right here and I'm kind of relaxed. My posture is kind of crappy. I'm just standing here. The moment that I push my chin forward and I actually move my shoulders a little bit, push my shoulders a little bit backwards, you can feel it between your shoulder blades. The moment you push your chin forward a little bit, you get a really nice defined jaw. Undefined, defined. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but I will tell you this one of the things to tell you in theater, I have almost no experience with theater, but one of the things that they tell you in theater is that you have to exaggerate in order for the back rows to be able to see you. And the same goes for the camera, actually. So that's why you often see heavy makeup on camera, and people see their faces with all this makeup on before being in front of the camera, and they're like, holy wow, is this me? I can't recognize myself. And then they see themselves in the portraits with the makeup on, and they're like, oh, I look like I barely have anything on. Now the same goes for posing. So you want to exaggerate just a teeny tiny bit so we can actually see what's going on. And this is fine. But if you can exaggerate it just a little bit, it's going to look really, really nice. I'm going to do this again from the side. Relaxed, and out. Relaxed, and out. Now, I call this giraffe or turtle, depending on what my clients, depending on the conversation that I have with my clients. And this, by the way, is no invention of mine. I learned this when I was doing modeling professionally, and it's just one of those things that would make me look 10 times better in camera. And I still do it when I post for selfies. People ask me, say to me, Cecilia, you can't take a bad picture. I'm like, yes, I can. I just know how to avoid it. So make sure to push out your jaw and even put it down a little bit. I know many people want to like go up high. I'm like, no, put it down a little bit, but don't go like, you know this one, selfie trick. Yeah, try to avoid that. It's not very flattering, honestly. Yes, it will make your jaw look good, but it also looks kind of funky when you take a selfie like that. So have the camera more or less straight in front of you and just move your head, move your chin. So that was tip number 3. Now we're gonna move from the face to the rest of the body. And for my tip number 4, we are dealing with the arms. Now, as you can see, I am no stick. And when I was modeling, I was not doing conventional modeling. I was doing plus size modeling. And it was a ton of fun. And it taught me a ton about my body and how to move it and how to dress it and what colors look good on me, but especially how to pose with it. Now, I bet a ton of you out there are like me. You are above average size. Well, actually, I think the average size at this point is, what, 14, 16? Around there, at least in America. And that's right around where I am as well. And all of you, many of you are going to have issues like these. You don't like them. Or feeling like our arms look really thick. So how do we avoid that? Well, when we pose, first of all, we want to make sure that our elbows, our arms are actually ever so slightly out from our bodies. And now I'm not going to stand like this. That's of course not very pretty. But if we move our arms a little to the sides and we create space between our arms and our bodies, especially our waist, then we're suddenly going to look way better. Standing like this versus standing like this. Standing like this. See, here we actually have this problem. Stand like this. And just a moment that we move our arms just a little bit, our arms look slimmer. So it's all about making our arms look just the way we want them. And I'm not saying that you can't stand like this and look great. You can, absolutely. But in my experience, most women especially don't feel comfortable with their upper arms. So as a photographer, as a former model, I feel like it's my job to help them feel good in their portraits. And we do that best by posing. And right now there's 6 people tuning in. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And Ashley is here too. I have photographed Ashley on multiple occasions, and it is awesome. And it's not going to be the first time, last time, I mean. Love having her in front of my camera. But can you guys hear me all right? Is it any bad sound? Like, because I would hate that I stand here and kind of babble on without the sound actually being good or decent. So let me know. Wonderful. Ashley says that, yes, you can hear me. I'm happy to hear that. There's actually a dog over here standing in the door wanting to come out. I love that. Okay, so tip number 4, from the body. Number 5 is also related to the body. And for this one, I'm going to tilt the screen a little bit. And yes, you get a good view of my cleavage. So when we photograph the body, we want to avoid standing straight. It's not pretty. Not pretty at all. So tip number 5 is avoid straight-on body shots and positioning up the hips. So I'm going to go over here. I hope you can still hear me. When we stand like this, we're going to look very broad. Doesn't look very flattering, frankly. And standing here, I can see myself, and I don't feel particularly comfortable seeing myself like this. So our first trick for positioning your body in a nice way is to just kind of bend the knee and flex the hip. That way, you suddenly create angles here versus here. You're beginning to see an S shape. And from here on, we add the arms, the away from the body arms, and we can begin to see poses take place. Now, we're still straight on, so we move a little bit to the side. And one of the things we need to know when we stand on, with the side towards the camera, what in general actually, what is closest to the camera is gonna repeat after me. What's closest to the camera is gonna appear the biggest. So if you are wide hipped like me and you stand, you put your butt closer to the camera, guess what's gonna appear the biggest? Yes, that's correct, your butt. Your butt's gonna look biggest. If you like that, awesome. Go with it, have fun with it. But if you wanna look slimmer, then push it away from the camera. And then you can use your leg to shape the body even further. So here versus here, away from the camera. And again, the arms, want them a little bit away from the body. When you stand like this, versus here, they just all kind of come together. And from here on, we can move in a million of different ways. We can be straight on. I just don't recommend standing like this in front of the camera. But when you're in front of the mirror, as we talked about earlier, when you're practicing, make sure to practice just shifting your weight, shifting your hips, feeling good about your hips. There's a ton of things you can do to make your body appear at its very best. So yeah, that is how you pose your body a little bit more. Okay, so this is also related to body, but it's the whole thing. Number 6, remember your posture. Stand like this for a moment. Kind of looks sad, doesn't it? Like my shoulders are forward and belly pokes out. What's closer to the camera is going to appear the biggest. So the moment, just kind of straighten our body. Put your shoulders back, push the boobies out. Remember our chin. Our posture is going to change. Now let's see how that looks from the side. Really quick. So, just regular. See? Not too flattering, right? Shoulders back. Boobie out. Boobies out. Butt out a little bit. And now you can find a comfortable spot standing like this. It's fairly easy, actually. You just have to get used to it. And this is not just for modeling. This is for general living. It's not healthy for you to stand like this. So remember your body, remember your posture, shoulders back, stand strong. It's also a way of communicating. Your body is a way of communicating, not just what comes out of your mouth and how your face looks. It's your entire body. We communicate with our entire body. When we stand like this, kind of defeated, kind of tired, kind of sad. The moment that we stand up strong and tall, we feel better. And so if you stand up strong and remember your posture, you're going to feel better. And frankly, your body's going to thank you for it. Okay, so That was tip number 6, remember your posture. Okay, for this one, I'm gonna let my hairs out. Okay, because my tip number 7 is hair position and how to watch out for shadows. Now, mind you, I feel like most women, most of the time, have loose hair. I mean, often we do collect it like this, but when we take pictures, we like to have our hair loose. It is, for many women, our pride. So, how can we make sure that our hair is not what's going to drag us down in that selfie shot? So we have the sun right there still. I'm going to do like this for a moment, real quick. Chop up those curls. And then I'm going to put my hair right here. And as you can see, there's a huge shadow in my face now. My hair might look fantastic, but there's a huge shadow in my face, so you can't see my eyes. Now I can do like this, and suddenly you can see my face. Or, even better, I can move it to the other side, and there really isn't a shadow, because the sun is there. So, there are many options when you have your hair in portraits. One thing that I do like, especially when it's like more plain portraits, for many women it's very flattering to have the hair come down on each side. But frankly, we want to make sure that you see the neck. We want to make that neck look long and beautiful. So remember to have your hair in a way where you can still see your neck. Here my hair comes down, it elongates my face, it elongates my neck, and you can still see it. It's not all hair. And I have a ton of hair, as you can tell, so it helps. But frankly, I have curls, again, as you can see. So it's very individual. If you have thin hair and straight hair, you might want to have it on both sides. You might have it all on one side or a little bit on this side. It's really individual. But the most important thing to look out for is it going to shade your face? So that's one of them. That was tip number 7. Where's your hair and watch out for the shadows. So we are all the way to tip number 8. Careful with crossing your arms. And that's not just a posing thing. It's also what message is it you want to send with these pictures. So before you take a picture, it doesn't matter in this case if you're a photographer or a model or just a regular Jane Doe who wants to take a selfie. Take 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Think about what is your goal with these pictures you're about to take. Is it going to be happy? Is it going to be serious? Is it going to be something for business, or do you want to be professional? What's the whole purpose of these pictures? And for, yes, now the sun comes behind the tree and I have shadows on my face. Give me 1 moment, I'm just going to pull out a little bit. There we go. Almost. So for this, you need to think about what is the ultimate message that you want to send. And now, why do I say be careful of crossing your arms? Well, frankly, because I'm a little tired of seeing this pose. It's usually used in professional headshot settings, and it's also very closed off, very locked, very aggressive position. Or not actually, it's the opposite of aggressive. It's we're kind of hiding our bodies, aren't we? Which has its time, it has its place. But if you are, let's say, a yoga teacher that wants to have new headshots done, and you stand like this, I don't know about you, but it doesn't feel very welcoming. Now, if you're a yoga teacher and wants to have your photos done for headshots, I would think you would want to be relatable and engaging and need to feel like a person that would really have your best interest at heart. In those situations, think about and open body language. Think about not closing yourself off with your legs and your arms. You want to think about the message. It's what it all comes down to. Open yoga teacher with crossed arms. Mixed signals. They don't work. You want to make sure that the people who look at your picture is not going to get confused. So when does this pose work? Well, it works if you are highly corporate and want to look like you look down on people a little bit. That's at least my opinion. Stand like this, you're going to look down a little bit on people. It's a power position. It's not the most welcoming. It's not the most engaging, and it's really closed off. So, yeah, corporate, it might work. But then you see the thousands of headshots that are done standing like this, and you kind of get, I've seen it. So get creative. Maybe if you're having your headshots done professionally, ask your photographer to pose it differently. Or experiment yourself. It's fun. Practice in the mirror before and figure out exactly how do you want people to see you. Because that is what pictures are. They are a way for us to show people who we are. It's very simple. It's also a way for us to try to hide who we are, but that's a whole different story. So, for tip number 8, think about your message. How do you want to come across? Now, number 9 is actually that. So what you just heard is both 8 and 9 together. What emotions do you want to come across? What do you want to have come across? And be careful with crossing your arms. Also do that. I think that's the thing, isn't it? So we're actually down to 10. And this one is important. This is major. This is everything. Almost. Ish. But it is big. How to avoid the school photo smile. You know it. You know it, right? I'm going to put my hair away now so we can really get in that school photo vibe. Sit like this. And you have your gums showing and your teeth showing and you feel so goddamn uncomfortable. It's the school photo. And it is what most people default to for some reason. I have a rule in my studio. You don't smile unless you want to. So I might coach you into smiling. I might trick you. I might try to make you laugh. But I'm not going to ask you to smile. Unless you're really, really good at smiling naturally. There's always exceptions to the rule. But how do you avoid this one? I'm really uncomfortable and I really just don't want to be here. First off, you move your face. You move your muscles. Kind of get them warmed up. And trust me, it feels good. Like it's yoga for the face almost. We stretch muscles that we didn't even know we have. And the face is, we have so many muscles that we use all the time and we never pay them any attention. We just use them. So, stretch your face. This one is a good one. Feel it all the way down. It feels really good. So that way, your face is more relaxed, more pliable. One thing I like to do is say, eventually, if you keep on going with, it's really hard to not keep on laughing. It's maybe a little bit awkward to do with yourself. When I do it with people, they're like, what the heck is going on? And then they just naturally start laughing because the situation is so silly. But if you're alone and you don't want to try to sound like a lunatic, just think about something that makes you happy. Try to giggle a little bit. The moment that we actually try to do that motion of giggling and laughing, our face is automatically going to comply. And suddenly it's going to look like you're naturally happy. Yeah, you don't want to do it when you're not happy. Because most of the times the eyes don't follow. But if you actually feel like you're happy and put a little giggle in it, it's going to make it easier to come up with a natural smile for the camera. Now, if you've seen my work, you know that a lot of them are not smiley pictures. But that's because I believe I like to see the face without a smile on it. I like the intensity that you can get, and a smile can be a mask that many people put on and hide what's actually going on inside. And I want to avoid that. I want to tear away that mask and show them and the world who they really are, better and for worse. But a smile definitely has a position. And now we're back to the relatable yoga teacher. She needs to smile in her headshot pictures or lifestyle pictures or whatever it is that she wants. She definitely needs to smile because it's a matter of the relationship between her and the viewer. So the smile is really, really important. And make sure to try to smile as naturally as you can, and don't do this, you know it, yay, I'm so happy, I just want to cry. Laugh a little, giggle a little, you might actually have some fun out of it. And I bet you're going to avoid taking 1,000 different selfies and feel like you are not liking any of them. So that was my tip number 10. How to avoid the school photo smile. And it's actually all I have. So if you have any questions, please post them, or else I'm just going to go away. Actually, if you want me to go away, don't post your questions. Then I'm out of here. But I'm going to be here a little longer, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have about how you pose, about how to make your body and your face look the most flattering. Frankly, you can ask me anything. If you want to ask me something that's not posing, modeling related, let me know. I will be happy to answer. And there's 8 people there. You can tell. It's a little number up in the corner. You can tell you're there. So post. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Ask me a question, even though it's a silly one. I'll be happy to answer any. Or else I'm going to go away. And drink some more seltzer. I'm not trying to advertise, by the way. I'm just have a seltzer. No? No questions? That's okay. I'll go away then. But I have enjoyed coming here and sharing with you some of my modeling tips, some of the things that I know as a photographer, some of the things I learned as a model. Frankly, even after this live stream is done, you can ask me questions in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Oh, Jens. Okay, so Jens, who's actually a photographer himself, is saying, I was once... Whoa, hi, Sarah. See, now you're answering. I love it. Jens says, I was told once by a photographer friend that it's a good idea to divide the body into 3 parts, head, legs, and the rest in between. These 3 should point in different directions. No, it's a good way of thinking about it. Definitely sectionalize your body, not sexualize, sexual. Now I can't say it. Put your body into sections. And the way you do that is stand like this, stand straight. Think about, just want to avoid you seeing my belly. I would start with the legs. So as I showed you before, push them. What you want to do with them. Then you can add the arms, and then you add the face. And it's a great way of thinking about it, just taking one thing at a time. Good thing to think about too is creating triangles and S shapes, because those are things that are going to attract our eye and draw our eye in. Now, the more interesting things there is to look at in a picture, the longer a person's going to look at it. And that's what we want, right? Okay, tips for when someone else is behind the camera and you don't want them to have to take 1,000 shots to get a good one. Maybe how to direct your photographer. You're touching in on a really interesting place right here. If we're talking your aunt with a camera who's just going to grab a quick snapshot of you, then tell her, like, do the thing that I showed in the beginning with the camera. Figure out where the light is on your face, and then say, hey, let's go over here. Here's the light, really, really good. I want you to, let's go over here. Take the picture over here. So there you have the light. And then if you see her, put her camera down here. It can work in some situations. I would not recommend it with your aunt who isn't a professional photographer. So, or who's taking a quick snapshot with a camera. So she's down here. Say, hey, can you lift the camera up in eye level? And she does that, and then the rest is actually up to you. Then it's you who need to position yourself. Push your hips away from the camera. Have your chin come out a little bit. Make sure there's triangles. If you're dealing with a professional photographer, then I am really, really sorry to say that that person is the person who's supposed to know what he's doing or she's doing. First, I can do that. Then you might not have the right photographer. And that's a whole different discussion. I'll be happy to go into how to choose a photographer at another time. Jens says it's about the 3 body parts, 3 sections of the body. And he says this doesn't always work well, but it's a good start. But have you heard this before? Yes, I have heard it before. Mind you, I am 95% self-taught. 97% self-taught. I've never gone to school for it. Most of my experience with photography is self-taught. I've had very, very few people who've told me how to do things. Yes, I've watched YouTube videos and whatnot, but in order to get to know my camera and whatnot, but posing part and the making sure that whoever is in your picture looks good, that's all self-taught. And from modeling, of course. So I haven't heard it that often said, but it is a good, I've heard it before, and it is a good, it's a good thing to think about, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with it, and it helps you get the flow going. But mind you, the more rules you set up for yourself, the more difficult it's going to be to break them. And I'm all about breaking rules, mainly because there's always exceptions to them. Yes, of course, the rules are there for a reason, but not always. So if you feel like it's something that helps you, great. If you feel like it's something that might close you in and lock down your creativity and not get it flowing, like think of it as you put a box over your creativity and then it's there, then it kind of defeats the purpose. If you want to lift that box up, then forget about the rules. Just do what feels right. As a photographer, it's really, really important that we direct our models, and I have a whole video about that on how to communicate, how to connect with your model, and among the things that I have to say in that was communicate, talk, direct them, post them. I always recommend the photographers, men or female, get in front of the camera themselves and experience this on their own body. And Jens says, I'm okay with breaking the rules. I just want to learn them first. That's a great way to go about it. Okay. If you guys don't have anything more for me, then I will get going. I have a client call in 15 minutes that I want to get ready for. But if you have any questions, you can send me an email on sisla@bysisla.com. You can comment in the comments below. I'm going to have it be up on YouTube. And just reach out to me. I mean, you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. I'm there, and I'll be happy to help. I believe that we're stronger when we help each other, and frankly, the information that I have is not something that I'm trying to keep to myself. Precious. I want to share my knowledge with you guys, and make sure that you two are set up the best for whether you're taking a selfie or your aunt is taking a picture of you with your phone, or you're at a professional photographer, or you're playing around with a friend who has a camera that they are trying to get to know. Doesn't matter. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Have a beautiful day.